Hey, it's Lacey Broussard, and this is the Multi-Orgasmic Mama podcast. From sex and motherhood, birth and relationships, communication and intimacy building, and Taoism and Tantra, we explore topics such as self-care, self-pleasure, body image, jade eggs, the feminine cycles, creativity in business, and modern spirituality. The Multi-Orgasmic Mama is a place to come for true stories and transformational advice on how to be a mama and a multi-orgasmic woman too. Mariah Freya is our guest today, and she is the founder of Vegucated, and she's a sex coach, and she has plenty of online courses that we're going to talk about today. I'm super excited to share her with you. So Mariah, could you just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, who you're serving, what you're offering to the world?
Sure. Thank you, first of all, for having me. It's really a wonderful podcast. It's really great to be here and sharing my wisdom with you all. So, Vegucated is an online academy for mindful lovers, for curious lovers that want to transform themselves into extraordinary lovers. So we produce, publish, and deliver high-end conscious sexuality teachings on an online course format. So all of our courses, all of our knowledge can be consumed and practiced with from your own bedroom. And the amazing thing is we just discovered recently that we are already serving over 49 different countries, and it's just incredible to see that this knowledge is really spreading all over the world. And you know, for some people it's really hard to visit maybe a tantra workshop or a workshop where they learn more about sexuality, so that's where we're really good in, is delivering this amazing, precious, mindful sexuality teachings just all the way into our bedrooms, streaming online, very easy.
Nice. That's beautiful. It makes it so accessible to many people.
Exactly. And we do believe that conscious sexuality is really one of the last frontiers in personal development. I mean, there's so much where we can change, where we can transform into, but it seems like sexuality is always something that we easily neglect. And I'm sure you know that with your own folks. And so people that come to us that are part of our tribe are curious, conscious people that are really, most of them already done a bit of transformational work, done perhaps a lot of yoga or have been into meditation, and then over time they realized, there's something more within my relationships that I want to develop. And so that's when they discover us.
Oh, same here. I get the same phenomenon happen with me. It's mostly people that have, worked on things before. So that's cool.
Yeah, beautiful.
Well, how did you get into this work? What's your story around that? And tell us all about it.
Sure. I'd love to talk about that. So, well, you said it's like sitting on the campfire, so I'm allowed to kind of show the whole story of how I ended up being a sex coach and also founder of our company. Well, my partner and I, we're now together, Philip and I, over 10 years. And it's been an amazing journey to, from the beginning, being just a very normal couple, having red glasses on. And in the beginning, things just flow beautifully. And then after about 2 years or so, it's pretty much, I think, in the statistics of most long-term relationship, after 2 to 3 years, things get more like mediocre, more like a routine. Things are kind of, each other better, the good and the bad and the ugly, and you still appreciate everything, but usually there's, stuff popping up there. We had certain frustrations that we had in our intimate lives, and it was pretty mediocre, to be honest, our intimate life and how we sort of met and sort of were able to communicate about what we desired and what we wanted and what we didn't like. So it was really hard for us to find a way, a sort of space where we could really meet and see each other on that level. So so we went and traveled together to India, and back then I was becoming a sexual okay, now I'm stuck. Actually, a social worker. That's the word.
You're stuck on sex.
So it's kind of stuck already. Like, instead of social, it's just sex for me. That's funny. Anyways, so social work was one of my kind of desired job, as sort of helping society, becoming a better world, creating a better impact, and kind of, just being better people and helping each other out. So I was always in this helper nature. And I was working in this women's empowerment NGO in India, in Auroville, for anyone who knows that place. It's a community. And I was already really, really surprised by the empowerment of these Indian women, because they were from rural countryside. Usually you would think of India very suppressed, very conservative way of living, especially for women. There are not a lot of rights, and it's kind of very tricky to, kind of be an empowered woman. But actually these women so they created self-help groups, and it was incredible to see how they were supporting each other and having this sort of space where they could talk, and also talk about menstruation and about their husband and stuff like that. And it was really, wow, like, that's amazing. And I was sort of questioning my own Western empowerment as a Western woman, because back then I was feeling also very just like a girl, was like 21, sort of very like, who am I to say things, or not very confident. So I met this woman one day. She approached me in the morning, and she just out of the blue started talking about menstruation and having better orgasms, and like, it just appeared. And it turned out she was a full-fledged tantrika, of course. So a woman who studied tantra and was all into the arts of conscious sexuality. And I was just blown away by her. And then she pointed me towards a tantra workshop in northern India. So I just followed my gut feeling. Together, my partner and I, we went to the Tantra workshop, and that was pretty much the beginning of a journey. Yeah, and I mean, the Tantra workshop wasn't, because some people might have certain pictures of what a Tantra workshop looks like, but it was very theory based. So we learned certain theory and practices that in theory, and then we had homework after the workshop where we practice with our partner, and then in the next morning come back with feedback and challenges and sort of shared. So that was like just a very, very new experience for me, to be in such an open, sex positive environment. And well, in this first night where we had a certain practice, I actually experienced for the first time in my life squirting, which is a female ejaculation. And it was just incredible. It was for me like something fell off, like the proof of, oh my gosh, this stuff is really working. There's something there I need to dig deeper into. So we were just hooked, and continued our journey with different teachers, and stayed in Thailand for 3 years in a tantra community, and just really immersed into everything, pretty much explored different relationship concepts, and just really exploring our desires, what we wanted, what we didn't want, and kind of creating a voice for our sexual being, and then empowering ourselves through that. So it was for me really, conscious sexuality was for me really a way of becoming more confident as a woman, and through that, it also helped me to decide to become self-employed, start a blog, and just do all those things that I'm doing today. Pretty much having that confidence, that supercharger for just feeling like I'm good enough and I'm able to do this, what I want to do. And that was just for me incredible to see that sexuality is not just about awesome orgasms. It's all of that for sure, but it's also of just being able to show our gifts to the world and really have an impact, which leads me back to the social worker in me. So yeah.
Beautiful story. I love it. So you spent like 3 or 4 years between India and Thailand. Were you in Koh Phangan or somewhere else?
Koh Phangan, exactly, Bali, different areas. We also so it was kind of a whole journey of 7 years pretty much, but kind of 3 years staying there and really immersive. Later on, we really felt a calling of going back to Germany, where my base is now, and kind of bringing this, what we experience, kind of grounding it a bit more, and because it can be quite the bubble when you travel to Bali or Thailand and go there. So I really felt that I wanted to integrate this and anchor this more into normal life, into daily life, into living, meeting different people that might not have anything to do with yoga, but still we all have a sexuality, we all have a desire, and I think that's why we're also reaching more and more people, because it's we're trying to have a very low threshold, and it make it as approachable and as non-scary as possible. Yeah.
I love how people go off to find their thing and then they'll come and bring it home.
Yeah.
It's definitely a huge service to the world. I feel like I've done that in some sort of way, because I just moved back really close to my hometown for the
amazing.
I was 18, and it's like, oh, it comes full circle, like you go off and find your thing, and then you come home and you bring it to your own community. It's so beautiful.
And you won't believe it. I actually moved back into the same like city part, like where I grew up in Munich. So I came back really to I just lived a few blocks away from where I'm living now. So I'm literally like so close from my teenage years, and it's pretty cool to witness and reflect on that from a different perspective, for sure.
So do you do local workshops and education too, or is just all your stuff online?
Well, we do focus at the moment a lot on the online aspect, because that just requires a lot of focus to really make it work properly. But sometimes I offer talks and like sort of women's circles and things like that. So for sure.
Well, we haven't had really anyone on the podcast yet that's really spoke to Tantra or any of the specific techniques, other than myself, of course. So I'm excited to have you talk about some of the specific techniques that you can share with us that would be super helpful for any.
Sure.
Yeah. So I know that you are very much known for Yoni massage, and you even have an entire course on Yoni massage. So can you tell us all about that, what it is, maybe where it comes from even?
Sure.
Into the Tantra world and how it can benefit us?
I'd love to. So the Yoni massage online course, I created it pretty much because it was, for me, the main eye-opener and the most transformative tool for me personally that I discovered in the whole conscious sexuality realm. And I was sort of practicing together with my partner this practice for years and years, until we really got the hang of it. And I was part of like Yoni massage circles, and really like exploring and discovering new ways and techniques to go deeper. So for anyone that hasn't heard of Yoni massage, you might have heard of a Tantra massage, which is very similar, but Yoni massage, I would say, is a bit different because it ultimately derives from a neo-Tantra background. So one of the main, I would say, influencers was Joseph Kramer, who's known for sexological bodywork. And he created this practice, mainly to heal the pain and the blockages within the women's vagina. And the yoni, which is ultimately the Sanskrit kind of unholy word for vagina, also sort of the gateway of life, the really, the gateway of light ultimately. It is a practice where the vagina, the yoni, is being worshipped as something very sacred. And how I teach this practice is really on the basis of healing first, and then of pleasure, and also of connection, because these three things ultimately influence each other. And sometimes we use pleasure for healing, and then healing takes place, and then pleasure can occur. So it is really something that is a very holistic practice. And it has actually nothing to do with an erotic massage or things where it's just about pleasure. I would say that the first, but most important aspect is really healing. Because what I found, and that's something that I experienced myself, is that most of us do accumulate certain, let's say, little knots. When we sit a lot on a computer, for example, we start to develop tense shoulders, and sort of our hips and lower back is not as strong anymore, and there are certain tensions. So when we kind of stiff physically, but also mentally around a certain topic, we start to accumulate. And of course, women that experience sexual abuse, or that just experienced simple harassment on the street, like a sleazy guy comes up and sort of says a few really ugly words to you. Even these small situations create sort of tiny traumas. It sounds very negative, but it is ultimately like little tensions that we develop in the body on a cellular level, physically, but also energetically. And also, of course, on a collective level, thinking of how many women are still being sexually abused on a daily basis, how many women are not allowed to express their sexuality. And as long as that is suppressed on a global level, I think we all still are feeling a certain trauma inside of us, because we're all connected in some way or another. So what I found is that many women develop numbness, and which means they don't feel a lot inside the vagina, which also then, of course, leads into not having amazing multiple orgasms and being able to really feel and know what's going on. And also pain is another level, of course, that might be there for many women, especially also for mothers that have given childbirth. There can be a lot of postpartum pain, and sort of depending on the birth, there can be scars that might still be painful for half a year, or even longer, depending how strong or also how traumatizing the birth experience was. So that's really something yoni massage works on a lot, is healing. And the amazing thing is that once we're kind of starting to actually massage the outer, and so the vulva, the outer part of the yoni, and also the vagina, the vaginal canal, the G-spot, the different spots inside the cervix, we start to release these tensions, this numbness. We start to sort of, first of all, acknowledge it and see, oh, this is there. Here I'm feeling a lot, but here there's nothing. And this is something that can be very empowering, first of all, to understand our body and be able to map it better, be able to connect our mind, our heart, and our vagina together and be able to go there fully. And yeah, I mean, ultimately what I've experienced with yoni massage is really deeper intimacy with myself, first of all, but also towards my partner. So I'm really able to communicate in a different way, because it's not just about, being flashy and having amazing orgasms in the first round. It's just about, first of all, exploring together and then acknowledging what's there. And just that is already an amazing practice for communication. And especially for long-term partners, I feel this is something very, very important to develop our sexual being further on. Yeah, and so pretty much, I mean, there's heaps of benefits, and I could talk for hours on what else yoni massage works on. But for sure, for me, it was a full-on kickstart in my exploration and also in my empowerment as a woman. So, and that is huge for me, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I would second everything you just said. Everything that you were talking about was like, yep, I felt the same way, or that happened to me too. Yeah, it was, yoni massage is extremely powerful. Like, it was basically my initiation into my own body, because it was amazing Beautiful. How much I didn't even know about the tensions and the stress that I was holding inside. And it definitely opened up the ability to have cervical orgasms. I don't think I would have ever gotten to that point without yoni massage. So yeah, it's extremely powerful practice.
Yeah, same for me with the cervix. I think it's something so deep, so vulnerable inside of us, and at the same time such a powerful pleasure giver queen that it's definitely it can be a huge potential for so many, going beyond the clitoral, and I mean, not saying clitoral is bad or anything, but really being able to feel even more than that. And yeah, awesome.
Well, right now, I think it's maybe for people that don't know anything about yoni massage, it's just like some fictitious massage. So could you just give us like a breakdown of the process, like what's involved in it?
Sure. So what I've discovered from different practitioners, of course, because it's sort of, I mean, ultimately you could say it comes from a Tantra background, but I would say it's a very Western method, a very Western developed technique. And so there are different body workers and energy workers and somatic healers, and there's a huge mixture inside of the yoni massage. And of course, everyone has a bit of a different approach and a bit of a different way of teaching it or giving it. So what for me is what I've discovered is there's, first of all, a sort of warm up. So for example, you can create an intention why you're doing this practice, and sort of be clear, not necessarily as a goal, but more as something like, I want to be more open or want to feel more. So as sort of like just sending that wish, sending that intention to the universe. And then even when you're in a very orgasmic state, you could use that intention again at a later stage. Then the warm-up itself always includes, for me as well, a sort of connection ritual between the partner. So if you're doing it with your partner, there has to be definitely some sort of connection ritual. It's just much more deep if you don't do it and jump right to the massage itself. So, for example, an eye gazing, it's just so simple, just eye gaze for a few minutes, acknowledge each other. you can do certain breathing techniques together, or really have like a shower together and wash each other's body. Like there's so many delicious rituals that you can do that I also teach in my online course. Mm-hmm. And from there, it really goes into a very normal full body oil massage, or that's how I found is most relaxing, because as the receiver, you really, really want to be relaxed before the yoni is being approached. So just a really beautiful, gentle, sensual oil massage is just amazing. And everyone loves that usually. So, and for anyone that's a bit scared with the yoni massage part, I mean, you can only go so far as much as it feels safe. So this is still a very safe and very, very holding space, just to experience touch from your partner and have that very sensual ritual can just spice up things already.
Yeah.
Then from there, it's really important to, before the yoni is being approached, that we ask for consent, so that we're really sure and that the receiver is sure that the yoni is saying a big yes to touch. So, and there's nothing wrong with also saying no. So I always encourage also the no, because it's really about listening to our body. Is my body right now ready to receive, to be touched there? And then I usually guide my clients always into a sort of yoni heart ritual as well. So the yoni is being capped and the heart is being connected with each other, and it's just a very very safe way of starting this. And then from there, the juicy part starts, and it is still on the level of healing. So this part is very, very important to be very mindful and staying continuously in communication and also breathing together, because it can be such a vulnerable place, emotions and tears and pain can occur, and that's why it's just important to really, really feel safe with all of this and have a good and trusted partner here. So you go into a sort of pussy shiatsu, or different ways of stretching and de-armoring the outer parts of the yoni. There are many, many different techniques that can be done, but it's pretty much a sort of shiatsu-like way of worshipping the yoni from the outside. And then further, once there's sort of a certain opening happening and perhaps certain tensions already are being released, of course we can go inwards. There's also a very mindful way of doing this, a very, very gentle way of doing it as if the yoni is sort of inviting the giver, not the other way around. So this again is always good to ask again for consent. Am I allowed to enter? Because it's again another step, another more vulnerable step. And actually, I always ask also the receiver, or if it's my partner asks me, so how would your body right now like to be touched? Yeah. Because this way I'm again in control, and also, well, control is a strong word, but in sort of, I have the choice, and I can sort of understand and communicate what my body desires. Yeah. And the next step is definitely going deeper within, exploring the different spots. But first of all, mapping everything. So you pretty much go through the whole vaginal canal step by step, inch by inch, and explore from 0 to 10, whether you're feeling something or you're feeling nothing. Mm-hmm. And you sort of explore the different sensations there, and also remember certain areas that might actually be, numb or painful. And then you kind of revisit them and again use shiatsu and acupressure methods to release and go deeper into that. And then once it's pretty much that's the healing part, then we more or less transition more into a pleasurable part where we're activating the chi spot, where we also look into the cervix as well, but also include the clitoris too, because she's a powerful supercharger for those internal spots. And yeah, pretty much include the whole spectrum. I mean, it's not just that you work only there, you include the whole body again. And that's really, really something, a very, very powerful experience for women to see the sexual energy move through our body. And it just starts at some point naturally to flow. And it's just incredible what realizations we can have with this. And then, of course, we can kind of decide and see perhaps there's a certain pleasure peak or not. We can just sort of ride those waves, whatever is sort of happening. Perhaps there's another pain release or a certain release of healing. Often there's like a peak of pleasure, and then there's a valley of emotion. So that, yeah, it can be just an amazing ride. And then at some point when the partners feel like it's enough, also perhaps the givers exhausted, because giving can be exhausting with, kneeling and kind of being all over the person. And so it's good to really stop in the right moment, listen to intuition, and kind of give it a rest, give it a stillness phase, an integration phase where the giver's lying there and sort of receiving the whole experience, and really being in a space of witness and witnessing what just happened. And also for the giver, this is just amazing to witness the vulnerability and see, like, receive that gift of seeing our partner so open, so vulnerable and beautiful. And that's, I mean, from all the givers that I know, it's just something magical. So yeah. I can recommend it to everyone to give it a try for sure.
Yes, I'm sure everyone's like, how do I sign up for that?
Actually, I have a little free ebook where I kind of have all of what I just said again written. I don't know if that could be helpful. We can definitely link it under the show or something. Sure.
Yeah, for sure. I signed up for your email list a long time ago, and I got that and read through it. I was like, this is awesome. So if you want everything Mariah just said on paper, I will put the link in the show notes, and you can go download that for free from Mariah.
Awesome.
Yeah. And also, of course, your Yoni massage course, is that a continual course that you can do at any time, or is it just certain times?
Yes, you can join at any time. Of course, there are sometimes discounts available, but if you join the list, you will get pretty soon an email with a discount, so that should be easy. And it's actually, we just released a lot of new material in it, so it's much more extensive and in-depth. And I also added a Yoni self-massage module, which is really, really awesome for all the women that are not able to experience it with their partner because they might not have one, or for any other reasons they might not want to do it. So the Yoni self-massage is as powerful, in my opinion, as the one that you do as a couple. And a lot of my clients are really, really realizing this only now. Oh, I could have done that earlier to do the self-practice. And I mean, we can use amazing crystal tools and toys for that to reach deeper and really develop an empowered practice through that. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay. Well, last question we have for you is, what one tip or trick could you give us for becoming a multi-orgasmic mama?
Yeah, I love that question. So, I mean, what you just listen, perhaps some of you feel a bit overwhelmed, and maybe some feel also skeptical, okay, I cannot imagine to receive this by my partner or by a stranger in a tantra massage parlor. So what do I do now? Well, I think it can really start with a very, very simple practice that I call the conscious shower practice. And I think it's actually perfect for all mamas out there, because I know that mamas are always busy. They don't have a lot of time for themselves. I haven't heard a mother yet that is fully satisfied with her me time and, you know, how much she invests in herself. I think there's always that we can do more. And I think the best way of setting the tone and really starting our days in the morning. So when we're able to have a self-loving ritual in the morning, it sort of sets the tone for the rest of the day and reminds us, oh, I could do this for myself. So the conscious shower is perfect, because I think for most mothers, it's the only time in the morning where they by themselves inside the shower. So there are no kids around, you just in the bathroom by yourself, and it's your space. So that's the perfect scenario or the perfect moment for you to enter a sort of self-loving state. And the conscious showers is pretty much a mindfulness practice where you are under the shower, and yes, you might not have a lot of time, but this literally needs no time, because you anyway need to shower. So why not take a few more minutes longer just to sort of really get the fullness out of it. So the idea is that you don't just shower, use just any soap and, you know, do very, very rough sort of cream your body in a rough way, or sort of do it very fast and very shallowly or very unconscious. No, the idea is that you use a really delicious soap, something that's just amazing to use, something that inspires you on a senses level. So something organic, natural, with perhaps some really beautiful scent that you enjoy. And you rub the soap onto your skin, and you're not just rubbing it, you're actually like gliding along your body and just really feeling that self-touch of yours, and really going into that state of self-love while you're just showering pretty much. And I'm not saying you need to, you know, masturbate. It's not about that. I mean, if you want to go for it, even better. But it's really about that self-appreciation and touching yourself with more awareness. And yeah, just feel the soap and the water cleansing you, and sort of letting go of any weight and stress and worries that you might have, and just let that work for itself. And what I also always do is after I step out of the shower, I use my favorite body oil. I have, for example, this amazing rose oil that I love to use. And yeah, again, doing the same, like spreading the oil centrally on your body, really appreciating every inch of your body. You can have a 1-minute breast massage if you feel like, or, you know, give your belly a nice rub. I know also many women are very insecure after birth with their belly, so this needs extra love and extra caring. And it's just amazing if you do this instead of just a normal quick shower. It's just a very different way of approaching the day, of starting your day. So I hope that was inspirational, and everyone is doing conscious showers from now on.
Divine and luscious and yum, and I can't wait to try that out tomorrow morning. Thank you so much for sharing, Mariah, for everything, for breaking down the process so beautifully. And don't forget to go download that PDF from Mariah's website that I'll post in the link down below in the show notes. So thank you so much. It was great to have you.
Thank you for having me again. It was really fun sharing this.
Okay.
All the best to you all.